Iowa lands a transfer portal target in tight end Steven Stilianos. More on Stilianos' commitment here in a moment. But first, a reminder, if you have not already done so, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Live post-games, basketball post-games after every Iowa men's basketball game. We'll have some postseason or post-game coverage following the Iowa women's postseason play as well. So please subscribe here. Football content released regularly, including my weekly podcast, Brad's Branded Thoughts. Please subscribe here. And don't forget to hit the like button as well for this video. So, getting to this news kind of late here because, of course, we had a game on Monday, Iowa Northwestern, Senior Day, and we had a post-game show with Coach Close. Then on Tuesday, the big news broke that Brian Ferentz would be switching to quarterbacks coach to go along with his offensive coordinator title, and Abdul Hodge was hired as Iowa's tight ends coach. So the Steven Stilianos news kind of went by the wayside, but it's big news for a Hawkeye squad that had not landed anybody in the transfer portal, and they had been attempting to make it their mark on the portal. Nate Pete from Stanford, running back from Stanford, had been a target of Iowa's. They offered Pete. He ends up going to Missouri. You've got Cam Butler from Miami, Ohio, coveted by a lot of schools. He ends up going to Virginia. And then probably the biggest one, Hunter Norzad, the big offensive tackle from Cornell. He had put Iowa in his top 5, visited Iowa, ultimately selected the Penn State Nittany Lions. So Iowa was 0-4 in the transfer portal. They had lost just 5 guys, so they actually led the Big Ten in least number of players leaving the program during this cycle to the transfer portal. But they also were in dead last place in commitments from the transfer portal. They still are. They're still in last place. They're just one commitment, but it's a big one. Steven Stilianos coming here as a grad transfer. He'll have 2 years of eligibility remaining. You may ask why, because he has played in every year. Why does he have 2 years of eligibility remaining? Well, he only played in 4 games this past season, this past fall. He played in 3 games in the previous spring. So Lafayette University, an FCS school, played in the spring of 2021 due to COVID. So he played in the spring of 21 and in the fall of 21. Played just 3 games in the spring, 4 games in the fall. So, of course, that means you can use one of those years as a redshirt year, and he'll also get the free COVID year. So he'll have 2 years of eligibility remaining, which is really important because let's remember, Iowa's returning a tight end who I think is a future NFLer in Sam Laporta, who has clearly been Spencer Petras' favorite target. And we don't know Spencer Petras is going to be the starter, but he would certainly be the favorite as of March 2nd when I'm recording this to be the starter. So certainly landing Stilianos now may seem like an odd move because of Sam Laporta's significance and his role on this offense, how important he is to this offense. Does Stilianos have a chance of getting playing time? Not to mention the fact that Iowa's second tight end, Luke Lachey, looked really good in several different games last year. So Stilianos is going to be fighting, in my viewpoint, for a chance at tight end 2, and it may be an uphill battle. Iowa has not ran as many 3 tight end sets in recent seasons, perhaps because of personnel, perhaps just a basic shift in philosophy there. But Steven Stilianos, you watch him on tape, not a whole lot. As far as production last year, again, 4 games, 21 catches, 130 yards. Those aren't bad numbers for 4 games, but they're not going to blow off the charts. They're not going to pop off the stat sheet at you. But you watch him on tape, he understands run blocking. He understands low man wins. He's a capable route runner. I like his route trees on film, at least what I'm seeing. He's not going to blow you away with speed either, but he is a good blocker from the FCS level. Will it translate to the Power 5 and the Big Ten level? That's a whole other question. I can see this being a situation where he's banking on one really good year to get him to the next level. So Steven Stilianos, originally from Virginia, originally from Hayes, Virginia, actually came in, committed to Lafayette, just had one other Division I offer. That was from Davidson. No other Division I offers for Steven. No Power 5 or FBS offers for Steven Stilianos. Played quarterback in high school, also was a defensive lineman, but came in at 6'5", ended up playing tight end, was primarily recruited, from what I've researched, primarily recruited as a tight end. And from the get-go, he played in 11 games as a freshman, played in 11 games as a sophomore. He came in ready to go, had 14 catches for $102 his freshman year, and then his sophomore year, 21 catches for 177 yards. Now, in the spring of 2021, of course, the delayed season ended up All-Patriot first-team honors and also was awarded the offensive MVP for the team. 9 catches, 125 yards, 4 touchdowns for Steven Stilianos. In the fall of 2021, I mentioned his numbers, 21 catches for 130 yards. He did earn first-team All-Patriot League. Lafayette finished kind of middle of the pack in the Patriot League in 2020-21, so the spring season. As far as the 2021 season, when Steven Stilianos played just 4 games, Lafayette finished at 2-4, 3-8 overall. So 2-4 in the conference, 3-8 overall. So they struggled without Steven Stilianos for the majority of that season. But obviously he's been a hot commodity. You saw Rutgers involved in his recruitment since he's been in the transfer portal. You saw Syracuse involved in his recruitment. Pittsburgh offered, and a number of other Division I schools offered Steven Stilianos. He was certainly one of the more coveted tight ends in the transfer portal this year. I actually questioned whether Iowa would nab him simply because of Iowa's depth at tight end. Now, they're not real deep on the back end, if you will. Addison Estringa coming in as a freshman. You've got Josiah Miamin moving on to Florida International. But again, you've got Laporta, Lachey, Elijah Yelverton, who have been here, done that. And I question, will Steven Stilianos see the field much his first year? Maybe, maybe not. But certainly would have an opportunity after his first year. That last year, he'll have 1 year of eligibility remaining. Without Laporta there, can he work hand in hand with Luke Lachey? And injuries are always a possibility as well. But credit to Iowa. Kudos to Iowa. Kudos to Brian Ferentz, the switch made from tight ends coach this week to quarterbacks coach, which I've been somewhat critical of. But wait and see how that works out. But the fact of the matter is they were able to nab him. I'm sure Steven Stilianos knew Brian Ferentz was moving over to the quarterback position, which of course he's still the offensive coordinator, but he will not be Steven Stilianos' position coach. That will of course be Abdul Hodge, who's the new tight ends coach at Iowa. So kind of an interesting storyline. Good news for Iowa. They're off the schneid, so to speak, as it relates to the transfer portal. Who else are they targeting? I'm not aware of anybody right now. Steven was really the last kid that I'm aware of that Iowa offered. Now, more guys will likely enter the portal. They will enter the portal in the spring. After spring, will that include Iowa? Will players leave? That's certainly a possibility. Could Iowa go after somebody else, perhaps another defensive lineman or an offensive lineman? That's also a possibility. Ideally, you'd like to be able to nab one before spring, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. But congratulations to Steven Stilianos. A really cool story. Remember, he was a 0-star recruit coming out of high school. A 0-star recruit. He played quarterback, defensive line. He's not going to blow you away with speed, but he's got a good ability to catch the football, good route running. He's a physical tight end. And really, that just screams Iowa. So congratulations to Steven and to the Hawkeyes. Appreciate you tuning in here on this Wednesday evening or whenever you're listening here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We'll be back with you Thursday night following Iowa, Michigan, a special edition of Iowa Postgame with Coach Gary Close and Iowa legend J.R. Koch. We'll see you back then. I'm Corey Bratta from the Hawkeye of the Storm.